Hey everyone! Today we're going to learn how to integrate an OceanBase database with Kafka. We'll set up the OceanBase database as the upstream source and Kafka as the downstream target. I'll show you how to stream your data from OceanBase to Kafka and back to OceanBase. So first, a bit of background. We'll be using Debezium, a Kafka Connect tool. Actually, we're using the Debezium MyCircle source connector to capture data from OceanBase. Then, we'll use the Confluent JDBC sync connector to pull data from Kafka topics and write it back to the OceanBase database. So here's the game plan. First, we'll configure the source connector. Since OceanBase is highly compatible with MyCircle, we're using the Debezium MyCircle source connector. Just treat OceanBase like MyCircle and we're good to go. Second, we'll write data to Kafka topics. We'll set up the Confluent JDBC sync connector to read data from these Kafka topics and write it into the OceanBase database. Before we get started, make sure you have a dedicated Debezium user in your OceanBase. Okay, so I won't cover how to create a user and grant privileges in this video, but you can find that info in the doc link I posted in the description. Just make sure you have the right user with the right privileges. Alright, let's assume you have everything installed. First up, let's configure Debezium MyCircle connector. Open up your Connect distributed properties file. Add the Debezium MyCircle connector extension path at the end of the file. Just a heads up, don't include the Debezium connector MyCircle directory in your plugin path. Next, let's check the status of the Kafka topics. Okay, you can see I already have some topics here, but if it is the first time you run this command, you receive nothing. Now let's start Kafka Connect. Create a register OceanBase Debezium JSON file and add your connection information like the OceanBase, host name, port, and user, blah, 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 blah. We can find the details in the official documentation, so I won't go through it line by line. Keep in mind, you need to update the connection info with your own database details. And during the initial snapshot phase, make sure no one changes your data schema. Then it is safe to set snapshot logging mode to none. Now, let's register the Debezium MyCircle connector via the REST API. Oops, it looks like I ran into an error because I'm not in the right directory. Let's change to the right directory and run the command again. Oh, another error, but it's fine. I actually ran this command before recording, so it says the connection already exists. Now let's check if we successfully added the connector. Sure enough, there it is. Actually, we can see two connectors. The one we'll use for the sync is the second one. Now let's check the Kafka topics again. Lessons learned: always be in the right directory. You can see I have these topics already. We use this command to make sure data has been sent to the Kafka topic. Here, I'm using a database named test and a table named TB1 as an example. It has 14 rows and the max ID is 14. Since no new data has been added to the database, this command returns nothing, which makes sense. Insert some data and run the command to see what you get. Now, on to part 2. Writing Kafka messages to OceanBase. First, make sure you have Confluent Kafka connection JDBC ready. I'll assume you have got the right environment. If not, check out the doc link below the video. Restart Kafka Connect after adding the MyCircle driver for Confluent Kafka JDBC Connect. It may look a bit complex. Oh, sure it is, but we're looking for JDBC sync connector. There it is. Now we're ready to add Kafka Connect information. We'll create a JSON file named register OceanBase sync JSON with the necessary details. One thing to note, in this demo, I didn't create a dedicated user for the sync. Instead, I'm using root. We can choose whichever user you need. And another thing, don't ever try to use the same tenant for your source and target databases, okay? If you do, you might run into some bin lock issues, which is why I didn't get the updated data from Kafka in my target OceanBase at first. So you want to pay attention here. Next, we'll add the JDBC sync connector to Kafka Connect. Oh, oops, another mistake. Wrong directory again. Let's change to the right one. Still not? Of course. Wrong JSON name here. Now, let's look at my sync connector. We saw it earlier when setting up the MyCircle connector. Alright. We're in test sync now, and I'll show you all the data from TP2. Okay, now let's try some data streaming. We'll add some new data to our source, like inserting a row with an ID of 30. Now, let's head to the target to see what's happening. On the left, we have the source database table TP1, and on the right, the target table TP2. You see all the data in both tables. Unfortunately, we get nothing here, because as I said, I use the same tenant for my source and target, so this makes some bin lock issues. Now let's change to another tenant in the target. Yes, everything looks just fine. What's more, let's try to delete the data I just inserted. No 30 data in TP1 and no 30 in TP2. So I think that's the end for this video. If you have any questions, just go ahead and ask me. I'm happy to help. See you soon. Bye bye.